वृंदावनचा जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम राम गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। Prabhuji, Mataji, should I start or some couple of minutes I have to wait?
Yes, Prabhuji, please, Prabhuji, start.
So first of all, I thanks to RKD Prabhu and Hargesh Shripada Mataji to give the opportunity for speak on the subject of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a heavy subject, but by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, I'll try to repeat what Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purports for my own purification. And if anything, if you like, it is all mercy of my Gurudev and the senior devotees. So with this note, I'll start today's session. अजानुलंबितो भुजो कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वाम्बरो द्विजवरो युगधर्म पालो वंदे गुरु जगत प्रियकरो करुणावतारो. So before starting the verses assigned to me, Actually, this topic itself is the discussion between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya. And we all know who is Rāmānanda Rāya. Rāmānanda Rāya is actually the Arjuna. And also in some places it is mentioned that he is like Lalita Gopi and also Vishaka Devi. So such a exalted devotee is Rāmānanda Rāya. And he is very, very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than combined form of Radha and Krishna. And you can see the topic itself is so heavy. And author Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that the discussions between the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya, one who hears with full faith and without any questions, such people will get liberation from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease and go back to Krishna. And why? Because these pastimes actually in the age of Kali is very difficult to digest. It is because we are not pure. But it is a mercy of Pondracharya Srila Prabhupada is given the nectarian purpose where anybody can repeat as it is and get purified. Such is the subject. So before starting the verses, I would like to give the overview what we are going to get and at the end of the session. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to leave for South India, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya advised him to meet Rāmānanda Rāya, for he declared that there was no devotee as advanced in understanding the conjugal love of Krishna and gopis. So it is a request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that he told that you have to meet. He is advising Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet Rāmānanda Rāya. Why? Because he is the greatest devotee, very advanced devotee. And while touring to South India, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Rāmānanda Rāya on the bank of Godavari. And that they had a long discussion in which the Lord took the role of a student. Just see in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 18th chapter, Lord Krishna is telling that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Bhaja Aham Tam Sarva Papabhyam Mokshishyami Masucha. Is telling to become his like surrender to the Lord himself. And he is giving instruction to Arjuna. But here, and also we can see, Lord is so merciful, he became a Sarthi, Partha Sarthi. He became a chariot driver. And here we can see that how Rāmānanda Rāya is instructing the Lord, and the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became a student. This is something mesmerizing. So the Lord is acting as a student, and Rāmānanda Rāya is advising or instructing the Lord. So after hearing Sri Rāmānanda Rāya recite some verses, and Rāmānanda Rāya was, you can see, he's a not a ordinary devotee. He's like a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, and also mentioned that he was one of the gopis. So he was reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam slokas, which was very relishable for the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the Mahaprabhu accepted the principle of pure devotional service, devoid of all kinds of speculation. So Rāmānanda Rāya explained that all the stages of conjugal love can be attained through the mercy of the residents of Vrindavana, especially by the mercy of the gopis. So Rāmānanda Rāya visited Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu began questioning him. And this is these questions and answer which we attentively hear. It is purifies our heart. The question and answer. You can see Srimad Bhagavatam is full of question and answer. And here in the Madhya Lila, 8th chapter, it is again a condensed form of Srimad Bhagavatam. The same verses are repeated here. How author Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is narrating the Srimad Bhagavatam slokas in the Chaitanya Charitamrita for the conditioned souls like us. And what are these questions? From Madhya Lila 8.245 to up to 259, it is all about the questions and answers between the Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya. And these questions and answers are very, very important in our life, because we are hankering so many things, but what is actually the most relishable for the souls, that we can see. So there are actually 13 questions and 13 answers. So we quickly, I will run through that, and when I go to the verses, also there will be some important points from the purport. I will be covering that, and that's how we will cover the today's session. So the first question is that of all types of education, which is the most important? And the answer is transcendental devotion and service to Krishna. That is the best education. So, and we can see this education we are not getting in now the whatever schools, colleges we are going. But here the essence of the education is mentioned in that. And out of all glorious activities, which is the most glorious? The answer is devotee of Lord Krishna enjoys the utmost fame and glory. So how, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we got this association of devotees, ABCD principle. So nice. It's so practical, and one can become from a dog eater to the great topmost Vaishnava just by following this principles of what our founder Acharya has given. The third question is, of the many capitalists who possess great riches, who is the topmost? He who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna. So that's why I told this topic is a little heavy. But if we are not hearing now, when we will hear? Of course, Prabhupada says that we cannot reveal this to the neophytes. It should be, at least a person should be to that level, like chanting the prescribed number of rounds, following the four regulative principles. Then we can taste the higher things. Otherwise, if we tell these topics to the common people, they mistook and they may fall down. And the fourth question is, of all kinds of distress, what is the most painful? The answer is separation from devotee of Krishna. And this reminds me once his own Holiness Jayaprakash Swami Maharaj, when he was in the hospital in Madrid couple of decades before. So he mentioned that how important it is, the association of devotee. If devotees are not there, there is no devotion at all. So that's why when we separate from a devotee, that is the greatest separation in this world. And the fifth question is, out of all the liberated persons, who should be accepted as the greatest? The answer is he who has love for Krishna. So that's why the great saintly persons, the acharyas, the gurus, they carry Krishna within and they move as a temples. So that how devotional and how a pure devotee of Krishna is dear, because he carries Krishna with him and he moves everywhere. And that's how wherever he moves, it becomes a temple. Among many songs, sixth question, among many songs, which song is to be considered the actual religion of living entities? The answer is song describing the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna. And again, everyone wants to sing, everyone wants to enjoy. But what is the topmost enjoyment? That is the hearing about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. That should be our song. Whenever we sing, like we sing Hare Krishna tune, we sing the glories and pastimes of the Radharani and Krishna. And the seventh question is, out of all auspicious and beneficial activities, which is the best for living entity? Again, associating with the devotees of Krishna. So how many times the answer is coming from Rāmānanda Rāya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like a testing, quiz test is going on. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go on asking the question and Rāmānanda Rāya perfectly answering. And he is making more enlivening. The eighth question, what should all living entities constantly remember? The answer is Lord's holy name, qualities and pastimes. So how Lord is so merciful, He gives this holy name to the one and all. Just by chanting Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranata. Just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can make our lives perfect. And just by hearing and the glories of the devotees and the lords in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can purify ourselves. And ninth question is, out of many types of meditation, which is required for all living entities? So how these questions are so practical. We are all hankering for all these things, but our place of search is a different place. So that's why we are not getting what we should have got. So that's why when we open the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we get all the answers. So that's why these books, Prabhupada mentions books are the basics. Well, because without reading the books, how we can convince ourselves and how we can convince others? And 10th question is, where should the living entity live, abandoning all other places? The answer is, he should live in the holy place, Vrindavan, where Lord performed his rasa dance. So many times this question comes, where we should live. If we have a long life, where we should spend our retirement life? The answer is simple. We should be stay in Vrindavan, or where the Lord's pastimes are happening, or Mayapur, or Jagannath Puri, wherever the Lord's. But here, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked this question, Rāmānanda Rāya is telling that one should live in a place where Radha Krishna's pastimes has happened, that is Vrindavan. And out of all topics people listen to, which is the best of all living entities? Which is the best for all living entities? So the topics, hearing about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna is more pleasing to the ear. So when the exalted devotees, when we sing the glories in a proper rhythm, especially in the Sanskrit, the melody that enters into our ears and penetrates into the heart, and our heart melts. Why? Because such are the glories of Radha and Krishna. And that's how the gopis, after the rasa dance happened, Krishna left. And the gopis, in the mood of separation, they want to bring Krishna back. And they are singing the Gopi Geet. So question 12 is, among all worshipable objects, which is the chief? The answer is the holy name of Radha and Krishna and Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So how our founder Acharya, he has given this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not different from Radha and Krishna. And this can be chanted by one and all. There is no caste, creed, religion, small, rich, big, nothing. Everybody can chant this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodishkam Nam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nato Paratarapaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishute. So how the condensed form, we read Bhagavad Gita, we read Bhagavatam, we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, but what is the ultimate aim of reading and hearing the pastimes of the Radha and Krishna? So holy name has so much power. Only thing is we have to repeatedly hear from the pure devotees of the Lord. So that way the effect of the holy name affects on us. The 13th question is, what is the distinction of those who desire liberation and those who desire sense gratification? So answer is, those who attempt to merge into the existence of the Supreme Lord will have to accept the bodies like those of trees, and those who are overly inclined towards sense gratification will attain the abode of demigods. So how the sense gratification, even in the Devaloka, this happens. And the people who want to, like especially the Mayavadis, they want to merge into the Lord, they become like a trees. And these are the 13 questions which we are going to see in the slokas. But this is the essence of today's discussion. So after this conversation, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received his real form of Radha and Krishna to Rāmānanda Rāya. So he revealed to Rāmānanda Rāya. And Rāmānanda Rāya, as I told you, is not an ordinary person. Lord Sri Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasures, and Srimati Radharani is the personification of ecstatic love of Godhead. These two forms had combined as one in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Other than Rāmānanda Rāya, no one has even seen this form. So we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the combined form of Radha and Krishna. This we are only hearing in the pages. But Rāmānanda Rāya, he has seen face to face. And this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown to him. He has not shown to anybody else. So by hearing the talks between Rāmānanda Rāya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one becomes enlightened with the transcendental knowledge of the mellows of Radha and Krishna pastimes. So that's what the author Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami requests every reader to hear these talks with faith and without argument. The argument doesn't work, and we should have that faith. By studying them in this way, one will be able to understand the confident truth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime is most confidential. Like in the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, we say 9 chapters the most confidential. So here also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author Srila Kaviraj Goswami is telling that the conversation, what is happening, especially between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya, is most confidential. Lord Chaitanya considered Rāmānanda Rāya and Sanatana Goswami to be equal in their renunciation. For although Rāmānanda Rāya was a grahastha engaged in government services and Sanatana Goswami was in renounced order of complete detachment from material activities, they both servants of Supreme Personality of Godhead and kept Krishna in the center for all their activities. So what is the message the author is giving is that we may be a grahastha, we may be a whatever the varnas and ashramas are there, we may be sitting in any one of the place, it doesn't matter. Rāmānanda Rāya was a grahastha. And also is mentioned that Sanatana Goswami, who was a renounced mendicant, was fully detached, but the position is saved. So that means to do devotion, there is no barrier. Whatever ashrama you are there, whatever situation is there, keep Krishna in the center and keep Radha and Krishna in the center, then our life is successful. So in Lord Chaitanya's final pastimes for about 12 years, it is said that both Rāmānanda Rāya and Swarup Damodar were always engaged in reciting suitable verses from Srimad Bhagavatam to pacify the Lord in his ecstatic feelings of separation from Krishna. So, like in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 31st, the Gopi Gitam is there. So here also, the pastimes are happening in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this delicate and very intimate revelation is happening, which only the devotees can relish it, not a neophyte. So with this note, I will start today's session, which is verse starts from 247. I will share the screen if possible. Can you see the screen, or anybody can confirm?
Yes, Prabhuji. Now we
Yeah,
can see.
thank you, thank you. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 8.247. Since I gave overview, so wherever because of time, wherever it is not required, I will not go through the in detail purport, but wherever it is required, we will discuss on that. संपत्ति रे मध्य जीवेरा कोन संपत्ति गाने राधा कृष्णा प्रेमायन से बड़ा धनी. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, of the many capitalists who possess great riches, who is the topmost? So Rāmānanda Rāya is replying, he who is richest in love for Radha and Krishna is the greatest capitalist. And this is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.39.2. Kim alabdham bhagavati prasanne Shri Niketana tatapi tatpara rajan nahi vanchati kinchana. So what is difficult for the devotees of Lord Krishna, who is the shelter of the goddess of fortune? Although such devotees can obtain anything, O king, they do not desire anything. So this is the beauty of the devotees of Radha and Krishna. They do not ask anything for them. We can see our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he spread this holy name throughout the world. He took the book Bhagavad from Vrindavan to the Western world. And today, because of his mercy throughout the world, devotees are spreading the message of Krishna. Otherwise, what capacity we have? Actually, it is the mercy of Guru, and through his mercy only we can become detached with the things. Actually, we cannot, in the material world, the detachment word is very tough. But actually, instead of detached, we should have a higher taste. When we engage whatever we have in the service of Krishna, so no need to detach anything. We should only have a positive engagement. 8.248. दुःखा मध्ये कोण दुःखा हाय गुरु तारा कृष्ण भक्ता विरहा विना दुःख नाही देखी param. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, of all kinds of distress, what is the most painful? And Rāmānanda replies, apart from separation from the devotee of Krishna, I know of no unbearable unhappiness. So this separation from the devotees is the most painful. And it is also mentioned in the Brahad Bhagavatamrita, Swajivanadikam Prarthayam Shri Vishnu Jana Sangata Vichedana Kshanam Chatra Na Sukamsa Labhamane. Out of all kinds of desirable things experiences life of living entity, association with the devotees of the Lord is the greatest. When we are separated from a devotee, even for a moment, we cannot enjoy happiness. And this might be having experience. If you, of course, we should love all devotees, but we have our intimate friendship with the devotees who are like minded. If such devotees separate, how you will feel? So that is what is mentioned here. That is the greatest pain. To 8.249. मुक्ता मध्य कोन जीवा मुक्ता करी माने कृष्णा प्रेमायन रसी मुक्ता शिरोमणि. Out of all liberated persons, who should be accepted as the greatest? So Rāmānanda replies, he who has love for Krishna has attained the topmost liberation. And we can see in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6.14.5, Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanam. Tu durlabha prashantatma koteshu api mahamune. So actually in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, but Prabhupada is quoting all the Srimad Bhagavatam. So how essence is to read the Srimad Bhagavatam. O great sage, of the many millions of liberated persons and of the millions who have attained perfection, he who is devotee of Lord Narayana is very, very rare. Indeed, he is the most perfect and peaceful person. So many of us want to be get liberated But actually, without means getting a association with the pure devotee, it is not possible to get liberated from the cycle of birth, death, and old age and disease. 8.250 गणा मध्ये कोण गणा जीवेरा निज धर्मा राधा कृष्णेरा प्रेम के लिए यही गीतेरा मर्मा. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Rāmānanda Rāya, among many songs, which song is to be considered the actual religion of the living entity? And the song of the, that's what we said, the Gopi Geet is the topmost song we can sing. That song describing the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna is superior to all other songs. So we can see nowadays people, neophyte people, they sing some filmy songs and all, because that is giving some sort of sense enjoyment. But actually we should sing the glories of Radha and Krishna. And in the purpose, and in the 10.33.36 it mentions Anugrahaya Bhaktana Manusham Deha Astitha Bhajate Tadrisha Krida Yashrutva Tatparo Bhavet. Lord Krishna descends apparently as human being. So here we can see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 'So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking all these questions, Rāmānanda Rāya is replying. Eight point two five one. श्रेया मध्ये कोण श्रेया जीवेरा है सारा कृष्णा भक्त संग मिना श्रेया नाही आरा. The only auspicious activity is the association with the devotee of Krishna. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.30, it is mentioned Atyantika Kshemam Prachamo Bhavato Anaga Samsare Asmin Ardho Api Satsanga Sevadbe Narna. We are asking you to tell us what is the most perfect welfare activity. I think that in this material world, association with devotees, even it is for a moment, is the greatest treasure for mankind. So basically, what I think that how we also come to Krishna consciousness by just associating with the devotees. How the devotees are helping us to progress in the devotional service. So 8.252 Kanhara Smarana Jiva Karibe Anukshana Krishna Nama Guna Lila Pradhana Smarana. So what should all living entities constantly remember? So Rāmānanda Rāya replies, remembrance are always the Lord's holy name, qualities and pastimes. So again, Srila Prabhupada quotes from 2.2.36 Tasmat Sarvatmana Rajan Hari Sarvatra Sarvada Shotavya Kirtitavya Cha Smartavya Bhagavan Nam. So again, Sukadeva Goswami concludes the business of the living entity is to always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In every circumstance, the Lord should be heard about, glorified, and remembered by all human beings. So, how Srila Prabhupada gives appropriate purpose. So, that's why these purports are not just written. It was from Prabhupada's, because Krishna has told him. That's why he repeats sometimes. If you see in many purports, Srila Prabhupada repeats also, because he understands that how we are forgetful. So, we repeatedly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam verses, we can relish the intimate pastimes of Lord Krishna. मध्ये जीवेरा कर्तव्य को न ध्यान राधा कृष्ण पादाम्बुजा दान प्रदान. Out of many types of meditation which is required for all living entities. So Rāmānanda Rāya replies, the chief duty of every living entity is to meditate upon the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan Sattva Tampati Shrotavya Kirtitavascha Deha Pujas Nityadha. So Sutta Goswami replied to the sages headed by Saunaka, everyone should very attentively listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should glorify his activities and meditate upon him regularly. So we can see when we before reciting the Bhagavatam, we glorify like Narayanam, Namaskritam, all this. But here it is mentioned, it is not that one day we should hear and other days we should leave. One should glorify his activities and meditate upon him regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. It is not like one day activity. Every day we should hear as and when time permits. सर्वात्याजी जीवेरा कर्तव्य कहा न वासा Braja Bhumi Vrindavana Yaha Lila Rasa. So where should the living entity live, avoiding all other places? So Rāmānanda Rāya replies, he should live in the holy place known as Vrindavan or Brajabhumi, where the Lord performs his rasa dance. So many times this debate comes, why I should have my residence in Vrindavan. But actually, here Rāmānanda Rāya is telling that that should be our aspiration. Maybe we are not pure, but if you are not getting purified in this lifetime, when we will get? So we should always, so many devotees, they have their like shelter in dams, and that is a very good. Why? Because if dams potency is like that, dams potency and the devotees mercy is required. Otherwise, it is very easy to trap ourselves in this material world. And in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.47.61, it is mentioned, Asam aho charanarenu jusam aham sham vrindavane kim api gulma lato sadinam ya dustajam svajanam arya patham cha hitva bijur mukunda padavim shritubir imigram. So here Uddhava said, let me become one of the Vrindavans, herbs and plants that are trampled by the gopis, who gave up all connection with family and friends and decided to worship the lotus feet of Mukunda. Those lotus feet are sought by all the great saintly persons expert in the study of Vedic literature. So we can see how Uddhava was intimate friend and devotee of Krishna, and he also mentions that we should become we should take the Rajraj, basically the dust of the pure devotees of Rajavasis, and that is the value of the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees, especially Vrindavan Vasis. Shravana Madhya Jivera Kona Shrestha Shravana Radha Krishna Prema Keli Karana Rasayana. So again, Mahaprabhu asks, out of all topics people listen to, which is the best of all living entities? And Rāmānanda Rāya replies, about hearing the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna is most pleasing to the ear. So see, from beginning sloka to till, in each and every purport, Srila Prabhupada is glorifying the Radha Krishna's pastime. We want to hear so many nonsensical things and we don't get any pleasure. But when we hear the Katha from the pure devotees of the Lord, from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our whatever the glories when hears enters through the ear and went into the goes to the heart, then heart melts, and that is how is the Srimad Bhagavatam. A liberated person who hears about the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna is not inclined to have lusty desires. And this is one of the challenges in the age. Even amongst the devotees, following all the instructions, sometimes get trapped into this, the lusty desires. So that's why Prabhupada, from the beginning, he says that always the Jains should be separate and the ladies should be separate, because we don't know, because the lusty desires are there since time immemorial. And any time it can be, the devotee can fall down. So that's why these topics are not read, but the Chaitanya Charitamrita is the essence of the all the scriptures. So that's why these pastimes are heard. And since I'm understanding that we are all in the proper mood, so that's why we are able to glorify the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. उपेशेरा मध्य को न उपाशा प्रधाना श्रेष्ठ उपाशा युगल राधा कृष्ण नाम. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking among all worshipable object which is the chief, and Rāmānanda Rāya replies the chief worshipable object is the holy name of Radha and Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And again from Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.22 it mentions Etamaneva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmrita bhakti yoga bhagavati tannama granadibhi. In this material world, the living entity's only business is to accept the path of bhakti yoga and chant the holy name of the Lord. So how Srila Prabhupada mentions that even being in this material world, we can get the mercy of Radha and Krishna just by properly chanting the holy name of the Lord. And that's why out of all the yogas, karma yoga, jnana yoga, the bhakti yoga, the topmost is bhakti for the Vaishnava devotees. मुक्ति भुक्ति वांचे कान दुनरा गाति अवनरा देहा देहा याची अवस्थिति. What is the destination of those who desire liberation and those who desire sense gratification? And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again asking, and Rāmānanda replies, those who attempt to merge into the existence of the Supreme Lord will have to accept the bodies like those of trees, and those who are overly inclined towards sense gratification will attain the bodies of the demigods. So here, getting the demigod body is not great. Prabhupada mentions that. Maybe the facilities are more, but end of the day, they are also doing the sense gratification. Of course, they are elevated than the human beings because they are also serving the Supreme Lord. So the in 11.10.23 it mentions Ishtveha devatayagne swarlokameti yagnika unjata devavattatra bhogan divyam nijachitam. After performing various sacrificial rituals for elevation to the heaven planets, the karmis go there and enjoy themselves with the demigods to the extent that they have obtained the results of pious activities. And in Bhagavad Gita 9.20 and 21 it mentions then त्रैविद्या मम समापा कुतपाप यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रपत्यन्ते ते पुण्य आशाद सुरेंद्र लोकम अशंति दिव्यम दिवि देव भोगम चेतम भुक्त स्वर्ग लोकम विशालम पुण्य पुण्य मर्त लोके विशन्ते एवं त्रय धर्मम अनुपमम गता गतम काम काम लाभते. So the message is those who study the Vedas and drink some juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reaction, they take birth on the pious heavenly planets of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. When they have thus enjoyed vastly heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, we seek sense enjoyment by the adhering to the principles of the three Vedas, achieve only the repeated birth and death. Therefore, after finishing the results of pious activities, the karmis return to this planet in the form of rain and they begin their life as grains, grass, and plants in the evolutionary process. So, this we seen in the Bhagavad Gita how the soul transmigrates from the so many species of life. So, Khinna Punya Marta Loke Vishante, that is mentioned that once the pious activities are finished, then again they will come to the earthly planet. आराशाज्ञा काकाकुशे ज्ञाननिम्बले राजाज्ञा कोकिला काया प्रेमाम्र मुकिले mukule. So Rāmānanda continued, those who are devoid of all transcendental mellows are like the crows, and that suck the juice from the bitter fruits of Nimba tree of knowledge. Whereas those who enjoy mellows are like the cuckoos who eat the buds of the mango trees of the love of Godhead. So here comparison is given between the devotees and the non-devotees. And non-devotees are like crows, and the devotees are like cuckoo bird. So here, absolute truth is a process taken by the crow-like man, but the cuckoo-like devotees have very sweet voices with which to chant the holy name of the Lord and taste the sweet fruit of mango tree of love of Godhead. Such devotees relate sweet mellows with the Lord. So you can see that how in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is the first three slokas of the which are Mangala Charana. It is mentioned that how this Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to the ripened mango tree, and the devotees relish this. अभागिया ज्ञानी आस्वादे शुष्क ज्ञान कृष्ण प्रेमामृतापान करे भाग्यवान. So the unfortunate philosophers taste the dry process of philosophical knowledge, whereas the devotees regularly drink the nectar of love of Krishna. Therefore, they are most fortunate of all. So the devotees are always fortunate. यही माता दोई जना कृष्ण कथा रासे नित्य गीता रोजाने हाइला रात्रि शेषे. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya passed the whole night relishing the melodies of Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna, while they were chanting and dancing and crying. The night ended. So this is how the question and answers happened between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya. And they were in ecstatic mood. They were chanting the glories of the Lord, Radha Krishna, and they were dancing and some time crying. And that's how the day and night passes between Rāmānanda Rāya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I think with this note, I will complete. Any questions, comments we can take? Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. So any questions, comments or feedback, kindly we can have for a few minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
First of all, very nice, fantastic class, Prabhuji. So one high opening class. Always you are enlightening the classes to everybody to engage this one. I have one query, Prabhuji. In this one, that demigods, they can go to in the Guloka Vrindavan or in our Vaikuntha. They have that option, is there? Now the devotee, they can go attain to the Lord Krishna. Then the demigod forms they are taken. After that, they can go back to the Vaikuntha after they're finishing that one. You got my question, Prabhuji?
Yeah. You are saying that the devatas, can they go to the Vaikuntha or the
Yes,
spiritual
exactly.
realms?
Yes.
With my little understanding, maybe I will answer, and if some devotees are there, actually they cannot go. Answer is no. They have to come to the visa stamping to be done in Atri planet, especially Bharat Bhumi, and here again they have to do the. That's how the Devi Devatas want to take birth in the Atri planet, especially in the devotees' families. Then they do their sadhana, and then from here they go. So the answer is no. They cannot go from Devi Deva Loka to directly to Vrindavan. That is my answer. If any devotees has a different version, you can kindly, you are welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, regarding this one, what you told now is a general statement. But if you see the Goloka chart, there are some devatas, means who are doing some duties in the spiritual world. Third canto, actually, we will get this some of the glimpse. Means if you see the Goloka chart, there are some devatas names who are, means they are liberated devatas who are playing their role in the spiritual world. That is for like eternal Nitya Siddhasa. They are in the role of guarding or doing some service to the Supreme Lord. So we should not count that demigods into normal what we see in the material world. This is what I heard, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for clarifying that. And maybe if any verse specific to third canto, we will refer that and we'll give to Bhaktan. Thank you, Mataji, for clarifying that. Any
Prabhuji,
devotees have any
Prabhuji,
different?
shloka I couldn't remember, Prabhu, but it comes in the episode of Jaya Vijaya cursing by Chatush Kumaras. In that episode, actually, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura has given very nice commentary, detailed commentary. In that section, I heard Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for clarifying. Any devotees have more answer for what Prabhu has asked?
Hare Krishna, I have a doubt that is asking for the visiting of the Vrindavan or just staying in the Vrindavan.
Prabhu, they are
Question
staying
to-
there. How is the devotee going to stay in the always to along with the Lord? Such a way the demigods also they can possibility, and he's asking.
Okay, Prabhu. Stay, I'm different, but visiting can be done because in the 10th canto also it comes when the Nanda Maharaj wants to visit the place of pilgrimage. That time he shows them to Krishna, shows that place where that Nanda Maharaj has taken by the Krishna with him, where all the devotees comes and in the Mansi Ganga, and they come and they wash themselves and clean up all the things. Ganga also comes down. So the visit there can be possible, but staying I think is a different. Visiting of the will not be restricted, I think. Only the staying is a different. Staying as a devotee is a different matter, but visiting should not be the problem.
Prabhu, once we visit, then why we will be there only? Now, why we'll come back again?
Like we go, take a darshan, we come out, because they are doing particular duties. So they have been given responsibilities. What Devta is doing, they are basically serving the Lord's instructions. Although they do mistake, ultimately they are the devotees of the Lord. We know that one. They are helping and serving the instruction. Everybody cannot be a demigod. So that is the thing. But staying with the Dev is different because they have been given some duties, so they cannot stay there long time. Yes, they can visit and they can go and take a darshan of the Lord also there. When he was in childhood, they can do that one. In the Bhama Vrindavan. But in the, of course, Golok Vrindavan, they cannot go. Because they cannot go more than Shiv Sagar. Even that corner, they have to stay there, and Brahmaji has to go to visit the Lord and then can give the nazar. When they are in a distress, they take a Brahmaji, and Brahmaji goes to the shore of the Milky Ocean, and they praise, and then so they cannot visit directly, but sorry, they can visit the Vrindavan, but they cannot stay with the Lord. The difference is this one, because they have been given some duties, so they have to perform their duties. Like we have been given, suppose that Prabhupada has given duties to somebody to stay in the Mayapur, somebody is to stay in the Western Virginia. So he is doing his duties. Everybody cannot stay in the Vrindavan. So where is the name of the high name is there? Where is the Krishna is there? So that mode has to be seen.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Is there Swarup Krishna Das Prabhuji? Yeah, Bir Krishna Prabhu. I think Swarup Krishna Das Prabhu raised hand. After him, you can take Prabhuji, if you don't mind. Yeah. Swarup Krishna Prabhuji, your hand is raised and.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, what I have understood from Bhagavatam, there is a concept called Adi Devatas. At the time of creation, Lord, when all that happens, the Mahatattva happens, and then from Mahatattva comes out Ahankar, and Ahankar combines with the three modes, and the various elements come out. Along when Ahankar connects with the mode of goodness, then mind and Adi Devatas, they get formed. So these Adi Devatas, most probably their representations or their expansions are the Devatas who are there in the material universes. And these Devatas are also like posts only, and they keep changing. For example, the Indra, who's supposed to be currently there, who was earlier Pravakar and then after the end of this Manu, the Vaivasvata Manu's period, he will die. Most probably he'll die. And then Bali Maharaj will become the next Indra. So like that, all these demigods, they die. And the demigods, they, based on whatever we have heard, understood from Bhagavad Gita, they are supposed to come down to Bhumandala. That is Shine Punya Martya Lokam Visanti. Yes, we can say they are devotees, but they are devotees in the mood of Aishwarya Bhav. They are not devotees in the mood of the rasa. Unless they are devotees in the mood of rasa, and unless they are following the footsteps of some residents of Vrindavan, it's very difficult to go to Goloka. So this is what I understand. So I don't, what Nitya Prabhu you have mentioned is correct, that they can't go to Goloka.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bir Krishna Prabhu,
I-
you want to say something? Yeah, sorry. Okay, Prabhu. If you completed, Swarup Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, there is only one point. There is a pastime which I had heard, the pastime of Krishna in Dwarka, where he was smiling, and Rukmini Devi asked him, "Why are you smiling?" Then Krishna pointed towards an ant and said that this ant was Indra 17 times. And now today he's an ant. Similarly, like it's very difficult to go to the spiritual sky from a place of Aishwarya, like where you have Soma Ras and you have Gandharvas and Apsaras and all that. Festive mood every time. So you have to, as Nitya Prabhu, you have said very clearly, you have to come to the Bhauma Vrindavana. You have to come down to the earthly planetary system to be able to go back.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your clarification. And Bir Krishna
Yes.
Prabhuji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the Khatwang Maharaj, that is story. So Khatwang Maharaj, after helping the demigods, so and he could know he has, very few minutes left in his life. Then why he came to this material world? So he then, after coming to this material world, he meditated on the Lord, and finally he went back to Godhead. So same thing he could have done in this heavenly planet also. Why he did not do that? That means from the heavenly planet, no one can go to the spiritual world. But in Bhagavatam, in one place it is mentioned, in Brahmaloka especially, the who are there in the Brahmaloka. So if, because they are very pious people, if they engage in some way the devotional service with Brahma, they go to the spiritual world. But again, there are different types of Brahma, we know, Karmi Brahma, Jnani Brahma, and Bhakta Brahma. Even Karmi Brahma and Jnani Brahma, they cannot go to the spiritual world. If he is devotee Brahma, only he can go to the spiritual world. So the point is, if in the Brahmaloko they are engaged in the service of the Lord, they can go to the spiritual world. Otherwise, what I understood from Bhagavatam, they cannot go to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for all the devotees, and thank you, His Grace Bhaktanath Prabhu, for asking such a beautiful question. You engaged so many devotees, exalted devotees. Thank you. And whatever I have heard from seniors and the scriptures only. I don't have any much deep insight. And thank you one and all for the today's session.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
Again, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Vancha Kalpataru Bhayacha, Kripa Sindhu Bhayacha, Patitanam Pavnabhayo, Vaishnavabhayo, Namo Namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnavandi ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare
Hari
Hare.
Om. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
So,
so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
thank you. We'll end the session. Over to